Hey guys, I wanted to make an updated video talking about how my SMA has been, what's been going on with my personal life, and also what's the status with my new wheelchair. Because if you have been keeping up with my content, you know that my wheelchair malfunctioned, and that within itself has been quite the challenge, and it hasn't been the easiest mentally or emotionally. It's been a pretty bit of a rough patch for me. I wanted to give you guys an update talking about my SMA because I really haven't gave a life update talking about how I am doing physically. Right now, currently, I am feeling okay. I'm not doing the greatest, but I am doing good and doing a lot better compared to how I was feeling these past several months. These past several months, for those of you who have been keeping up with my content, know that I was struggling for several months, since like late October all the way up to like February. I was struggling quite a lot. I was struggling brushing my teeth, feeding myself, picking up the phone, a lot of my daily stuff, things that I would do on my normal routines, being taking care of things on the phone because of content creation, taking care of things on the computer because of content creation and the line of work that I do. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and more so like my personal daily routines, which is like brushing my teeth, feeding myself, picking up a cup of water, writing. I even tried writing recently, and that was a challenge within that process as well. And I was just struggling quite a bit with my SMA. But I wanted to give an updated video because the last video I talked about, I believe it was me talking about how much I was struggling, and I wanted to give an updated video to kind of talk about what's changed, if anything has changed. And right now with my SMA, I am doing okay. I am doing a lot better compared to how I was. Now, I am still struggling, don't get me wrong, but I am not struggling as much as how I was, where I am able to, pick up my utensil, not the greatest, but a lot better than where I was. I am able to brush my teeth, not the greatest, but a lot better compared to where I was. And something too that I think has really helped me a lot is, one, your mindset is key. I believe the way you talk to yourself and the way you kind of either boost yourself up or put yourself down is going to ultimately affect how you are going to feel, not so much just mentally, but physically as well. Let me give you a bit more of context here. When I was struggling, and I had at the time it was end of Q4, so a lot of stuff it was end of Q4, and I was just really hoping I could really kickstart the new year by releasing a lot of content, scheduling out a lot of content, and getting things. I was really hoping to end the Q4 by ending it with great momentum. A lot of people during Q4, from what I personally see, a lot of people kind of like slow it down and take it easy because it's the end of the year and they kind of rest a little bit, which is understandable because a lot of people have different positions in life and job areas or requirements, right? So it is good to take a break. But for me, during Q4, I really like to push myself. I really like to go the extra mile, and I really like to kind of build up that momentum. So that way when the new year hits and the new year is here, I already have that momentum. I don't have to build up to it. I'm already doing it. And so the way I was feeling at the end of Q4, I wasn't doing the greatest physically. So that, of course, was taking a toll on me mentally and, of course, emotionally as well. And throughout that process was not the easiest, but, I just kind of kept telling myself, this is temporary. And I tried to stay optimistic, like, hey, you've felt like this before, but it's just temporary. You are going to get better. Just continue to, kind of keep the faith and kind of stay positive within the process and continue to, pick up that weight even though you struggle to. Pick up that phone even though you struggle to. Do things on the computer even though you struggle to. Regardless of whether I struggle or not, I try to do these things to keep that mobility and that strength active and functional to the best that I can. To put it simply, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So for me, what I started to do is I ended up getting some weights, and I will take a picture and upload it so you guys can see it. Right now, it's not the greatest. I am going to change it. It was just kind of a thought, and it's working, but it could be improved. So I'll show you guys a picture. But I started working on weights, and I put it behind the door. And what I essentially do is, I'll show you guys, but it's just a way for me to work out, kind of keep my muscles going and keep my muscles strong and preserve what it is that I have left. Now, something too I want to mention is when you have SMA and you try to work out and you try to preserve your muscles, sometimes it can do more harm than good. Meaning, if you overwork yourself, if you push yourself a little bit too hard, which for me, I tend to do a lot. I really am one to kind of test his limits a lot. And if you overwork yourself too much, you can end up more fatigued than how you currently are. So you can do more harm than good, because if you overwork yourself, you can make yourself fatigued to the point where you start to lose the strength, more strength within the process, because you are overworking yourself. I hope I am explaining that properly. But for me, what I started doing with this weight is every day I just told myself, can I do 1 pound? And I was able to, so I stuck with just putting 2 pound weights on the door. And again, I will upload a picture. I will upload a picture. A video I won't do, but I will upload a picture so you guys can get a visualization about how it is at work. So essentially what I do is the weights, you'll see, is I have handlebars, and I kind of pull these handlebars down and it lifts up the weights. Basically I made my own gym here at the house to kind of preserve my muscles and preserve what I have left. Now the idea behind it is, again, if you don't use it, you lose it. And by me getting older and by me seeing the progressiveness of my disability, especially as time is progressing, I am seeing a slight decline with my muscle strength. So I am trying to brainstorm of new ideas and ways for me to preserve the muscles that I have left, so I do not lose my muscles as fast. Again, being mindful too that I do not overwork myself and push myself too hard, because again, that can do more harm than good for me. I wanted to share that with you guys because I think that is an important part of my journey, to document that I am working out. I have been documenting other workouts on my channel as well, where I have these weights. And to give you a reference, before I started doing this whole workout journey thing going on, is before all of this is I struggled picking up a pound weight. I couldn't do it. So then I did some research, and I found myself, to cut everything short, is I did some research, and took me a while to find it, but I did finding it. And I found a 1/4 of a pound, which is not a pound, but it's a 1/4. It's a 0.25 of a pound. So it's very little. And at the time I was struggling a lot because, again, I couldn't pick up this 1 pound weight. So I started small, and I found the smallest weight that I can find. And I started utilizing that every single day. And fast forward, I began that journey, I want to say about maybe 2 years ago, roughly 2 years ago. And maybe like 2023, maybe 2024 at the beginning. And I started documenting the process. And fast forward to now, which is present time, 2025, I am able to, on average, lift about 1.5 pounds to 2.5 pounds on a good day. Now, on a great day, I am able to lift 3 pounds, and the most that I have been able to do so far is 3.5 pounds. I haven't been able to do 3.5 pounds in several months, but I have tried to do 3 pounds. I think it's been like 2-3 weeks at the time of this recording, and I struggled, but I was able to do a few, so that was progress within itself. But on average, I am able to lift about 1.5 pounds to 2.5 pounds. Again, depending on the day, because every day, some days I will wake up and I feel more stronger than other days, where some days I'll wake up and I am able to do my normalcy, when it comes to my physical strength, and then there will be other days where I'm not doing the greatest, where I am struggling a lot more than my normalcy, and just kind of have that self-talk, and help me get through those emotions through that process. So again, I wanted to say too that your mindset really does play a significant factor, because when you have a progressive disability, I can only speak for me. I cannot speak for everyone. I cannot speak for everyone who has SMA. I can only speak about me and my journey and my own perspective from my journey. Is when you have a progressive disability, keyword progressive, meaning it's getting worse as time progresses, as time goes on. That thought, that lingering thought, that, what you have, it isn't here, it's not here to stay, it's going to pass. The things you are able to do today, the things you can do now, there is going to be a last time for it. For example, me picking up this phone and recording this video. There is going to be a last time where I won't be able to pick up my phone anymore. There is going to be a last time when I won't be able to possibly move the mouse on my computer. There is going to come a time where, who knows, I may not be able to move my joystick on my wheelchair. Now, when you have a progressive disability and you have those thoughts, and it's not so much you're just thinking pessimistically, you're thinking realistically. You do one of two things. Again, this is why I say your mindset is everything. Your mindset matters. When you have a progressive disability, one of two things are going to occur. One of two things are going to occur. You are either going to feel sorry for yourself and fall into this victim mentality, like, poor me, my life, I cannot do anything with my life, my disability is progressive, I can't feed myself, I can't pick up a cup of water, I struggle picking up my phone. You start to feel sorry for yourself. You cannot do that. I understand you have this progressive disability, and again, every one of us has our own unique challenges and obstacles daily, right? But the way I see it is, I am given this life, and within a lot of the process, you may not understand why you have this life, and why you have this story, and why you go through these challenges, these trials and tribulations, maybe hospitalization visits, maybe even surgeries. You may not understand within the process, or why you. But I learned to ask myself this one question: why not me? What if everything I am going through, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what if I can shift my perspective from me feeling sorry for myself, that I have this progressive disability, and as I look around, I see a lot of people taking their life for granted, meaning they have every opportunity right in front of them to do better, become better, or even get out of the certain situations that they are in, and they don't do it. Yeah, it hurts, to see kind of certain things, and you're like, man, if I was in your shoes, or if I had your opportunities, man, I can only imagine what I would do, what I could do. But if you can shift your mindset and perspective, where again you can ask yourself, why not me? You create yourself that opportunity to kind of see solutions where you once saw so many problems. How can I improve my situation? You know what if I actually what if I actually go the extra mile and I do what most people don't? which is find a solution for this problem that is in front of me. Or what if what it is I'm going through is trying to teach me a new what if it's trying to teach me a new way to create a solution, not only for myself, but to help others? I believe every single one of us has a gift. And to find that gift is one of the biggest challenges and biggest mysteries many of us, quite frankly, never discover. But I believe that if you are able to shift your perspective from why me to why not me, you create yourself the fighting chance of discovering why you are here. What is your purpose? I believe my purpose, I did not understand this for the longest time, and as time is going on and moving, I'm still learning. I'm still discovering a lot of different things about why I am here. But the one thing that I do know for sure right now is if it wasn't for my story, I know there are so many people around me that maybe wouldn't be so optimistic. I know because of my story, maybe because of I shared something about my story, or maybe because I was going through something and I still smiled. Maybe because someone seen me in the hospital and they seen me still finding a way to laugh when I am in the ICU, and it's a big question, am I going to wake up tomorrow? Days like that strengthens people's spirit. It helps them along their journey. And in the moment, you may not realize it, but what you were actually showing is, hey, regardless of what you go through, everything is going to be okay. I almost got emotional right there. I wanted to talk about too, in this video, the whole process to my wheelchair, because again, I have been documenting the process with my wheelchair about how it malfunctioned, and that within itself was quite the challenge and it was a bit of a hindrance, to kind of get through that process, because, I was struggling for quite some time to now having my wheelchair malfunction, where a lot of the two main functions that I use for my wheelchair literally messed up. So the functions that I would use to elevate my wheelchair so I can reach my sink and wash my hands and brush my teeth and, get a cup of water from the fridge, and elevate my wheelchair to reach the light switch, and elevate my wheelchair so I can, be on the computer and have my hands sit properly, so I'm not putting so much strain on my muscles, because I have to pick up my hands up higher, because again, I'm sitting lower. And a lot of feeding myself, is another big one too, because I never realized it, until I couldn't use it. But when I eat, I actually position myself in a certain way so I'm not fighting so much against gravity. The way my wheelchair is set up right now, I'm fighting a lot against gravity. Literally. I'm not speaking metaphorically. Literally, I am fighting against gravity because my wheelchair is at a tilt. So, trying to, move a utensil forward and back, I'm going more against gravity because my wheelchair is at a tilt. And that was a really big hindrance, and it was a really big process, because again, I was struggling for quite some time. These past few months, to then having my wheelchair malfunction it took a lot. It took a lot out of me, and so I wanted to document that process, because what happened is, to cut everything short, is I was using my wheelchair to cut everything extremely short is my wheelchair. I have had this wheelchair, my current wheelchair that I am sitting in right now at the time of this recording. I had this wheelchair for going on 7 years. I believe it already is 7 years. And I started to have complications with it, with my motors and my tilt functions and a lot of mechanical stuff. I started to have a lot of issues with that was becoming more reoccurring. So it became in the talks, maybe it just makes more financial sense on the insurance side of it for you to get a new one. So we are not just constantly repairing the same old issues over and over again. Because again, I had the wheelchair for quite some time. Now the outside of it, now if you've seen me and you know me personally, the outside of the wheelchair looks new. It looks good. It's in good condition. It's just because me and my mom take care of it. Primarily my mom takes care of it and keeps it clean, keeps it up, to the best in the best possible way. So the outside of the chair looks new, but the inside of the chair is what is starting to wear out and go out. And so because I was having problems with my wheelchair and I needed new motors and I needed new tilt functions and all these different things going on, it became in the works to just get a new wheelchair. To cut everything short, a new wheelchair was already in the works, but it just so happened that I was going along my day doing my normal routine where my wheelchair completely, instead of having slight hiccups, completely just gave out. So when it gave out, it happened right at a moment when I was really trying to do a lot and take care of a lot of the things that I'm working on behind the scenes, because I have a lot of stuff that I have going on in front of you, that I allow you guys to see, and also have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I haven't quite revealed yet to nearly anyone. And so because I have so many different things going on, and to have my wheelchair mess up the way that it did, it slowed me down a lot. It took a big mental and emotional toll on me, even spiritual toll as well on me. And I just kind of had to get myself out of that funk, out of that mindset a little bit. Like, hey, you know what? Snap out of it. Everything's going to be okay. Trying to give myself that positive pep talk, hey, everything is going to be okay. Everything is temporary. And try to remind myself of my own personal life philosophies and kind of, bring my mindset back to being optimistic instead of pessimistic. And so that was quite the process. So I am getting a new wheelchair, and I am extremely looking forward to it because, it's just taken a lot of adapting. I mean, when you have SMA, you adapt to when you have SMA, by default, you have to master this one skill, which is called adapting to your environment, because there's always something within your environment, whether it's within your home or whether it's more so when you go outdoors, you have to adapt to your environment. When you go outside and maybe there's not a ramp for you to get to a certain area, you have to adapt and find a way on how you can maybe get over this lip or this edge, so you can help go inside of a house or go in the backyard or whatever. You're by default, when you have SMA, you have to learn how to adapt to your situation and adapt to your environment. So when it came to me trying to adapt to my environment, I just kind of had to remind myself of my personal philosophies and kind of pick myself up and get out of that, that funk, like, hey, snap out of it. Everything's going to be okay, and pick your head up and just get out of that mindset, because I was struggling quite a bit. I don't think anyone really knew. I think some people kind of sensed it, like my sister and my mom, definitely, but not really many people knew on camera the real mental toll it took. I became quiet a little bit, became agitated. It just happened at a time when I was really just trying to do a lot, and it just happened at a time I wish it hadn't. But ironically, I recently had a deep reflection moment, and I realized and am thankful that it did happen when it did, because life was, I'm gonna get a little bit spiritual here. Everything happens for a reason. Now, in the moment when you're going through certain things, you're not going to understand. You're not going to understand why certain things are happening, especially when you're going through a lot of turmoil and turbulent path within your life for a very consistent amount of time. But I learned, everything happens for a reason. There was a reason for this season. There was a reason. Life is always trying to show you something. And the thing that life was trying to show me, is how strong is my foundation? Meaning, how strong is my faith? How much do I really believe in the philosophies that I write? How much do I really believe in the message that I constantly try to push out? Which is, everything is temporary. Everything is going to be okay. Keep the faith. I believe life was trying to show me how strong is my foundation. And I wanted to mention that as well, because I think the one thing all of us have in common is we are all going through. Every single one of us is going through something. Sure, some are going through more of a severity of a life circumstance or situation than others, right? To put it plainly, you could be going through a hard time within your life, but there's somebody in the hospital fighting for their life. So yeah, you do have it bad, but there's somebody else in the hospital that slightly has it worse. There's always somebody that has it worse. And yeah, you could be in the hospital fighting for your life, right? But maybe you have the chance to go home. And right now, at the time of this recording, there's a very big war going on with other countries. So, kind of find a way to count your blessings while you can, because although you do have it bad, there is somebody else that has it worse. And I'm not saying that what you are going through is not validated. But what I'm saying is, when you can bring yourself to a mental state to find gratitude, regardless of what you're going through, and you find things to be appreciative for, regardless of what you're going through, and regardless of how your day looks, those are the moments that you give yourself a fighting chance to get through what it is you are going through. I wanted to say thank you guys for allowing me to make this video and for listening to this video. It is a very long video. I was going to make this into a 2-part video, but I just thought, why not just do one big video and keep it extremely raw. I feel like I really haven't talked like this on this YouTube channel in a very, very long time. And I just want to say, thank you for listening and tuning into my work and supporting me throughout this journey. It's been quite the process, and I try to do my absolute best to document as much as I can and share what it is I know to, provide guidance, solace, comfort. If there's something that I can help you with, you best believe I will try everything within my power to help you. I love you. I appreciate you. And if you want to learn more about my own personal philosophies, please go to becomethevictor.com, where I have a digital ebook of 500 quotes that are not just quotes, but they are words of wisdom that has helped me within my life, has helped me go through, get through the mud, has helped me get through those trials and turbulent life paths. These are not just words that I have just written. These are words I have formed by reflecting off of my past life painful experiences and was able to creatively turn them into a work of art that I call wisdom. Please go to becomethevictor.com and check out my digital ebook. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.